All right, folks, we are Tuesday here again, so we've had our team catch up. Not getting my E in the shot. Team catch up, and where we do like personal check-in, how's your weekend, that kind of stuff. We spoke about that in the previous episode and the benefits. So today we've just done that, plus we've done today's sprint, which was feedback on tasks so far and what we're achieving today and how they're going to work. How is this from your experience? New way of working for us on daily sprints for our internal project. How are you finding it? What's working? Reflections.
I really like it. I feel like it's the information we exchange is similar to what we normally do in a written handover, but it's quicker and easier being able to just do it face to face, because we're communicating the same kind of information we would anyway, but it's we're all together at once just talking through it instead and asking questions instead of having to go back and forth on email or for someone to read a big brief first.
Interesting.
I think it's quicker and easier.
I have a reflection on that, so I'll go after Hannah though.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like that we're able to ask questions and get everything that we need in the moment rather than reading through an email like Vic said and having to go back and forth. And I also like the energy. I feel like when we're all working towards something on the same sort of task together or on the same project, the energy is really high and I get more in the flow than I would on a solo project.
I think for me, this is definitely my working style. My reflection is, I know that we've booked the 30-minute sprint and then I get really under pressure around trying to keep that brief within that time. And when we go over that time, we are eating into the execution time, and that stresses me out a little bit, because then I feel like we've created the daily sprint knowing that you have this amount of time, and now I'm the brief's eating into it. I don't want to give off the vibes that you're expected to do the same thing with less time. However, just reflecting on this out loud, potentially you're actually have more execution time because you have clarity on the brief. So you're saving time is potentially what I'm hearing, saving time checking and asking questions later on. So you're not feeling that pressure.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do feel once we've finished the sprints, I'm 100%
right.
clear on what I need. Whereas I guess if it's come through in an email or just in a calendar invite, sometimes I'm I need to check in about that part of it later, or you're waiting for a chat response.
Yes.
It might be 99% there, but it's I don't know. There's usually something where I'm just double checking this or that, so that adds time in the execution time anyway.
Yeah. How do you feel with that, Hannah? Is that a similar experience?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like I get what I need. And it's weird. It's almost because it feels fast paced, because it's called a sprint. I feel like I'm thinking at a quicker pace. It's really weird. But I feel like it's almost I'm forced to get into the flow and get shit done. Compared to if I have a task, sometimes I'm planning it and then I'm oh, I don't understand that. Or, I'm gonna have to talk to that person. But this I'm yep, got what I need. Let's go. I feel very high energy. It's just the word sprint I feel gets me into that energy.
Well, you love your fucking running, so and I hate running, so maybe that's my resistance. Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe.
Jesus. Okay, well that's good, and I think even this conversation out loud and for people watching is really important, because this is debunking a pressure that I'm feeling about putting you guys under pressure, and you're saying no, I actually have the freedom to do my task. So now I don't feel as bad about when the sprint brief time creeps into 45 minutes or whatever it is. I'm it's almost permission now for us to, I should allow the space and not rush, allow the space for everyone to get 100% clear on what they're doing, and then that will allow you to... The phone overheated, so the edit here is happening live. Basically, it's allowing permission for us to extend that time for the brief, because the total time of the task will still be the same, including brief and execution. The balance is just different. Cool. Alright, so today's sprint was feedback again. So yesterday Hannah designed some thumbnails, which I'll show now. And basically we picked one as a team, so put it in there and get feedback. Which one do we want to go with? Two were very close, so we're actually going to just decide to go with both of them anyway. It's not about perfection, it's just about 80% done, go kind of thing. We have to work within the limitations of the sprint time, so it's about producing the outcome to the level of quality that can be achieved within the time frame is how we're deciding to work with this sprint. So, and also the messaging, we worked on that yesterday, so we gave feedback. So we're really in a place now where we're starting to develop and put out tangible things, and we're building the course itself. So I'm just going to flick to show you exactly what is within the course at the moment. Now within that, it's great ideas, but it's about the structure. So what is the journey of someone coming through that? So we're really thinking about, if those 5 days are there, what happens when they pay their money? What happens when they are enrolled in the course? What is day one looking like? And that basic customer experience to get them from beginning to end. So what we're doing for the bootcamp experience is, day one is the content, right? It's getting ready. So we have the admin side of things. So there'll be deadlines, there'll be people that you're going to rely on, there's going to be things that you need. So send those emails, send those calendar invites for feedback, whatever it is, ahead of time, so people are locked in, they have time to attend. Then the mornings are a lot about spending time with myself and the team and learning and showing you the templates and showing people how they can build their onboarding, the messaging around the why, the messaging around we're excited to have you, matching and aligning that employee value proposition that's probably come through from the recruitment phase into welcome, you've landed on your first day and here you are doing your onboarding. Now, so if you want to learn more about the onboarding and the employee experience tips and inductions, we've got case studies, we've got other videos on YouTube, so I don't want to go into the detail of that, but this is the structure of the boot camp. So AM is basically come and learn and ask your questions, be coached. We'll show you, we'll give you ideas, we'll brainstorm with you, we'll show you projects, we'll bounce ideas as a cohort together. The afternoon is execution time. Everyone goes off individually to do what they need to do, complete the templates, put their context to the actual templates that we are giving you, their flair, their language, all of that sort of stuff, and we're available to support so they can jump on a call. Next morning, so they need to get that to me, I give feedback, and then in the morning we give feedback live, so everyone's learning from each other's work, and I'm applying feedback and demonstrating what it can look like. And then into the afternoon, again, go away and learn. The next day is around applying this is Wednesday, third day now, applying the brand guidelines and to the RISE template, and what else? Thinking about how the content, because now day 1 and day 2 are about content, day 3 to 5 is about developing it into Articulate RISE or their preferred tool. But basically we're going to spend time showing what e-learning can look like. What are the possibilities to delight? How do you make an activity? Why do you select a certain activity or a certain modality or a certain media over something else? When is it a good time to use video? When is it not? And then the different scales of, like, if basic level is text and image, but maybe you have a bit more time or a bit more budget or a bit more resources, and then it's about, could it be an interactive scenario? Is the scenario just text and image, or is the scenario animation, or is it cinemagraphs or something like that? So that's kind of what the sprint is. Again, it's that inspiration, go away, execute, come back, get feedback, execute again, and then you're ready to provide your creation at the end of those 5 days to your stakeholders for feedback. So that's the onboarding bootcamp experience if you want to come build that. So what the girls are doing at the moment now is, in terms of the sprint, is grouping all of the resources, because we have so much templates, resources, stimulant, organizing that into the user journey. What is the need to know? What's the nice to know? We're grouping the access in terms of, do we give them access to everything all at once, or do we shut it off so that it's literally only you get the morning or the day one stuff and everything else is hidden until we progress through the cohort? So we're just grouping it at the moment and trying to understand what that learner journey will do. Now Vic and Hannah will do that together, and that's going to be a couple of days over the next few days with the sprints. That's the stuff they're doing, is making sure the templates work, making sure they are uploaded into the dashboards and stuff. And I'll stay out of that side of it, and what I will do is come in then at the end and pretend, because I won't have seen it as a finished thing, I've just given direction of this is the output. I'll come in with fresh eyes and pretend to be one of the people that's going to experience our onboarding bootcamp, and then I will be able to say, we're missing this doesn't make sense, the flow isn't there. It's also a really big milestone because it's the day that we're launching, and privileged to be in a position to offer a spot in the bootcamp for free. So generally we build onboarding programs for our stakeholders and clients, and it's 30,000 Australian dollars. Now what we're trying to do is do it with people so they can build their own capability. It's not just about the output of an onboarding, it's about developing the skills and the understanding the why and the instructional design, human-centered stuff through an experiential learning thing. And that's why it's do it with you, and it's 10,000 Australian dollars. So for this, what we are doing is, it's a really, really exciting day for us, because all of the sprint tasks are now ready. In terms of the design is ready, the application form is out, the messaging around this prize that we're giving out for free, which is so brilliant, is all good to go. It's basically the sprint. Everything now is a thing that we can put out into the world, and that's a proud moment because it's a very big milestone. It's a coming together of multiple days, multiple tasks. So that is also very exciting. So we're going to post that on social media soon to help, just get the word out, but it's really a privilege to be able to offer someone a free slot in that bootcamp. So very excited about that. Here's the giveaway post. So this is also instructional design applied again. So just reverse engineer, take some hints, whatever it is. You can pause the screen and have a look at it, but there you go. Woohoo! Incredible position, and very proud to be in a position to put that out to the world. It's lunchtime, and I've taken myself out of the library, which is connected to a university or a TAFE, to have lunch outside. Just the importance of breaking that state, seeing that blue sky, just separating myself from what I've been working on. I'll definitely be out here for 30 minutes and I won't be rushing back. I have stuff to do, and I will be super productive after this break, and also we get paid to have breaks. What you're looking at here is a message I've just sent to the team. I sent it and then was like, oh, there's actually something in here that is probably important for you guys to have a look at, and it's around feedback, right? As human beings, the majority of us want to be validated. So how are we doing that? So pause the video and kind of break it down. I'll show you the whole thing. So you can have a look at it, but I think the main thing in here is that basically saying thank you. We know that we appreciate when someone cuts us off in traffic or moves into a lane if we're driving and they give us the little wave of the hand. We're just like, yep, you good, you're welcome, basically. If we give someone a glass of water, we want to say thank you. We want a thank you. So I think it's really important to validate, and there's a couple of ways that I think of doing that. So it's basically giving them, we've been working on stuff, give them that little bit of feedback. But then the other thing is like the specifics. So this paragraph 2 is like, well, paragraph 1 is you did this, well done. Paragraph 2 is these are the specific things that you contributed to. So calling out each of their contributions to it. And then also it's about the impact. This is beyond us. This is the impact that those tasks that you've been working on every single day are having an impact on the world. That connection around impact is so important for us. That contribution, that purpose, all of that. So it's just a micro moment to say thank you, and enhance employee culture, improvement, relationships, all of that. Help them, especially my team, know that they are appreciated and the tasks that they've been contributing to add value. I see them, I hear them, I'm grateful. How can you validate and say thank you in a meaningful way to someone? Go do it. One last thing I'll share is Hannah today has actually been focusing on a client task. She's doing what we call an insights report. And the insights report kind of summarizes and paints a potential future for what is possible for the solution as per the outputs of the discovery workshop and the brainstorming workshop. So she's separate to that, and what it looks like is here's the learning outcome, here's how it might be trained, whether it's a card game, whether it's e-learning, whether it's posters, whether it's a change email campaign, and then we look at it, when does it get applied? Is it something that needs to be done immediately, in 2 months, in 12 months? So we basically do that against the learning objectives, and we go all out with that. Anything is possible. And then the next steps for us beyond that are going, okay, well, what is possible within the scope? So if we have 100 ideas and we have 2 days to make it happen, or we have only a certain amount of resources, whether that's time, quality, people, what we look at is how can we prioritize which are going to have the biggest impact, and what are we call it the easiest way to get that impact, and we plot it on a graph. You can just Google impact and ease matrix and you'll get there. That will help us prioritize what is possible. I have just got off a phone call that I have scheduled every fortnight for 30 minutes with a peer, similar industry, not so similar industry, in the user experience space, has a lab in conducting user interviews, and they run the business called The Space in Between. Brendan Jarvis, we've been connecting now for over 2 years every fortnight, and the intent of that is to hold us accountable to make sure that we're prioritizing the right things for what we believe our business needs to do, our team needs to do, whatever that might look like for us individually. So we check in our fortnightly sprint, and we say, this is what you said you were going to action the last fortnight, how did you go? Give each other updates. It is very rapid pace, but I think the value that we both get from it is the reflective questions. So we really push each other to be like, are you prioritizing the right things, to make sure that you and the team are focusing on the right things there, or is that the right way to support your clients or the stakeholders or the project or whatever it might be. So whatever our goals are, we're basically provoking each other to think differently and giving that outsider perspective. And then it's just another perspective, but the value of that is really, really important. So whatever it is for you, I think it's just the essence of that accountability. Someone knows what you're supposed to be doing, and is checking in to say, did you do what those things are? The times when we have excuse after excuse week on week, no, we didn't do it, well, someone could crack the whip there. And then the other thing is, sometimes you have blind spots, so the value of Brendan challenging me on blind spots or speaking from experience or giving foresight into something and vice versa is completely valuable and extremely valuable to do. So I guess the value is there if you find the right person, because we've been doing it for over 2 years. So 30 minutes, and we don't push it back, like we don't cancel it if it needs to. It was actually his birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, Brendan. But instead of cancelling it for a fortnight, we just moved it 24 hours. So yeah, he's in New Zealand and we make it work.